Ladies and gentlemen, RosterWatch Nation, welcome back to the epic RosterWatch Podcast, brought to you by RosterWatch.com. I'm Alex Dunlap here, of course, with the Trashman for the Week 7 Waiver Wire edition of the podcast. Just a quick reminder, you can find all of our content over at RosterWatch.com. The premium betting section and the pro downloads were important tools to help you with fantasy. We'll be referencing some of those tools today. But as importantly, we just keep getting yelled at about these reviews on Apple Podcasts. You guys, please, man, just go take 1 second and give us a review on Apple Podcasts. We would certainly appreciate it. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoy this content, the best thing you can do for us is 1, the review on Apple Podcasts. 2, if you could like the video, leave a comment. It helps with that scheming algorithm that directs viewers to your channel. So thank you for that. But Apple Podcasts, go do it. All right, Trash Man, what the hell's going on, brother?
Just enjoying this cool front.
It's my first time wearing jeans all year long. Can you believe it?
I wear jeans every day.
I know you do because they look cool, and you're all about fashion over form. But not me. I'm a dad. I got little kids running around and stuff, dude. Get way too sweaty chasing them around in a bunch of jeans. And what kind of shirt is that you're wearing, by the way? That looks like something that you might wear in the summertime.
It's a Henley. What are you talking about? Do I need to explain what a Henley is again?
Apparently not. Everybody, like all of our listeners and viewers, always know what a damn Henley is. If you guys have any questions, you can hit us up in the chat. We'll answer them, whether it's about trades or anything like that. We won't answer any sit-start questions here on a Tuesday because we've just now made the matchup tool and we do not have the expected points model or any of the other models up just yet. But if you have questions about trades and just importantly, who you should drop at the very end of the show, we'll talk about guys you might want to be dropping right now to pick up some of the players on the waiver wire. But Trashman, I just think macro view on the waiver wire this week. Look, we told you last week, go all in on Kenny Walker. I mean, that sure feels good if you were able to, doesn't it? He just looks like you're going to have a guy for the rest of the season that just looks like a stud playing in an
Hopefully.
offense. Yeah, just
thought I was going to have Javonte Williams for the rest of the season.
Well, barring unforeseen
circumstances. I thought I was going to have Rashad Penny for the rest of the season.
Barring unforeseen circumstances. Speaking of Javonte Williams and the Broncos, like, what did you think last night watching that game and seeing that Latavius Murray is just playing so far ahead of everybody else? I mean, let's just get into it. I mean, Latavius Murray probably –
clown shoes. I don't know what's going on in Denver.
Probably among the top pickups for running backs this week. Trashman, you had him listed right at the very top in his own tier. I decided to take executive authority and add Rachaad White to that same tier if we're talking about,
I mean, we keep kind of doing that, and Rachaad White keeps kind of not being.
I understand, but the reason why, and I mean, I know that you can certainly agree with this, is that he's one of the most valuable handcuffs, and there's no more of those guys left that aren't rostered. Your Alexander Madisons are rostered.
I mean, I guess you could argue Jaylen Warren is in that category.
Okay, but doesn't it feel like to you that Rachaad White at least has better standalone value right now in an offense that has specific packages for him in Tampa Bay? I mean, this last week notwithstanding, what a cockamamie deal that was. When our model had Pittsburgh plus 10 for the betting pick, that was one that I just decided I wasn't going to play, which sucked because it was basically a break-even week this week with the algo. So if I would have played that, I wouldn't have taken a loss this week. But it's like, I don't see that as being the look, man. I mean, he's only playing 22% of snaps for Rachaad White last week, but he got 4 targets. He's getting 7 touches. Yeah, that's nothing close to Fournette's. What do you have? 27 touches last week. I mean, he's just getting completely. He's getting all the work. Rachaad White's going to get that work if anything happens to Fournette. And Fournette has never made it through every game of a season through his entire career. So if Alexander Madison needs to be rostered, I think Rachaad White needs to be rostered. It's as simple as that. If Alexander Madison were on the waiver wire, wouldn't you want to take him?
Yeah,
over some of these other dirtballs like DJ Dallas or something? Yeah, so I think that Rachaad White belongs up there in that same Latavius category. We'll talk about some of these other guys. I mean, there are a bunch of options this week to pick up, but again, it's macro view. It's not like last week where it's like, dude, there's it's Kenneth Walker week, and you got to get him. What's up, lifelong Longhorn? He says, is Antonio Gibson safe to drop? Worth picking up Kenyon Drake for him? No, I wouldn't drop Antonio Gibson right now. We had Ron Rivera after this. Look, they're about to have a change at quarterback. We had Ron Rivera after this last game. If you listen to this press conference, talked about how they probably got away from Antonio Gibson too much. And I mean,
well, the thing is, it looks as if Brian Robinson is the first 2 down guy, then Antonio Gibson has shifted to that 3rd down back over J.D. McKissick.
I mean, Antonio Gibson only 26% of snaps this last week, but he did have the 4 targets, 8 touches for 53 yards. Look, to me, Brian Robinson, he got the 17 touches, but only 60 yards. He did get the touchdown. But, I mean, 47% of snaps. And here's the thing about Brian Robinson, Trash Man. He looks like Brian Robinson. He looks just like we thought he would. He's not going to be a dynamic presence for this offense. He just isn't. Is he going to be better than like Peyton Barber as far as falling in for the goal line touches? Yeah. But to me, I'm not sure how good I thought Brian Robinson looked in his first game back. And that's not to say anything bad about, his return from, dude, just being shot. I mean, clearly, nobody wants to say anything bad about Brian Robinson, clearly. But like for fantasy, I don't value him as much as anybody else. And I think that Antonio Gibson just still, it's still Brian Robinson. It's still Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. And I don't know how much, the Kenyon Drake thing, I don't know how much of it was J.K. Dobbins not being 100%.
Well, right. But that's the thing. After that game, John Harbaugh talked about how his knee, like it was, what do you say? His knee locked up on him?
Yeah, I think maybe it was the turf. Maybe he was worried about the turf. How his knee was.
You bet you half the games you play are on some damn turf.
Yeah. The thing is too, Gus Edwards, he's going to be back in the mix pretty soon too. So,
Kenyon Drake looked like he was shot out of a damn cannon on some of those runs. I was like, geez.
He's 32 years old.
Yeah. So clearly he's a guy who he's a guy who you're looking to pick up. I'm not going to drop Antonio. I don't just hit lifelong Longhorn asked if Antonio Gibson was safe to drop. I think you could drop him. I don't feel safe dropping him. I feel like you're dropping him at his complete low. Minion Hunter. Hey, Minion Hunter. What's going on, brother? He said, I nailed it with Wandale last. Hey, well, give Trashman some credit too. We both love Wandale.
I love Wandale the most coming into the draft.
Yeah, I think Trashman might have had him ranked highest, but it was just so obvious. Minion Hunter also we know he's a big Ravens fan. He said Harbaugh said his knee had some tightness, so he could be out a few weeks. If that's the case, look, they've had this issue with J.K. Dobbins and the knee tightness. They know about Gus Edwards. They know what happened to start last season with all these guys having the injuries, Justice Hill, etc. I think when Gus Edwards comes back, I think Kenyon Drake has a little bit of runway here. I think he's got a little bit of runway. And Baltimore this week, of course, they are going to be at home as 6.5-point favorites versus Cleveland, which is our number 3 matchup on the RosterWatch matchup tool for opposing running backs. So clearly Kenyon Drake is somebody, if you're in a situation, who all has buys this week, Trash? It's good teams. It's like, Philly's on one. Who else, man? Is Buffalo on one? Who else on bye? Let me just pull up the bye weeks real quick. NFL bye weeks. So it's Buffalo, the Eagles, it's Minnesota, and it's the Rams. That's a lot of fantasy viable players that are going to be out this week. And Kenyon Drake, for those reasons, I think if you're looking for a guy, for the reasons Trashman is laid out, he's not really a good stash. He's 32. We know Kenyon Drake is Kenyon Drake. He probably is not going to have this juice for very long. And Gus Edwards is coming back, and J.K. Dobbins will be back in the mix soon enough. So the role this week, if he's like the lone runner versus Cleveland, I think and you need a win this week, that's a perfectly viable pickup. Thoughts on Tyler Higbee rest of season? Do we start streaming now? Look at do you know what's happening with Higbee, Trash Man? For one, he is for one, he's been just so dependent in that Rams offense. He's been so dependent just on pure volume.
Yeah.
And when you're going to get a week like this where he plays 78% of snaps and he gets 2 targets. And that's
the thing is
that should have always been on the menu as a possible option.
Yeah, if he's throwing the ball to Allen Robinson to any degree,
and now there's all this Ben Skowronek stuff. They're trying to get him involved. Like they're going to be weeks. Brandon Powell had 5 targets last week.
Yeah,
I
think maybe they're realizing that they can't rely completely on they can't rely on the running game to really any extent right now.
Right.
And they can't rely on Cooper Kupp as their entire offense.
But what he's asking is, but the Rams are on bye this week.
Yeah.
So he's saying, what if I don't have look, if you're rostering a backup quarterback or some cockamamie backup defense or something like that, drop that guy before you drop Higbee for sure, because we've seen that he has potential to be a top 4 tight end, especially in PPR, just based on the volume and things kind of get back to normal. I don't know which way that the Rams are going right now, though. I don't know. Things are weird right now around there, and I'm starting to buy into Trashman's theory that this is Cooper Kupp golden handcuffs, man. You just they've built the offense completely around him, and it feels so dysfunctional in other ways, not even getting into the Cam Akers stuff or anything like that. Minion says, sorry, Trash Man. It's okay, Minion. We're just messing with you, brother. Let's see here. James Johnson says, working on a big trade. I get Waddle, Lamb, and Pittman. I give away Jalen Hurts, Lamb, and Zeke. Well, that doesn't make that doesn't make too much sense to me. You doing one of these cross league trades where you trading from one league to another league and getting CeeDee Lamb back? If you re-ask the question, we can maybe help you a little bit better. Unless there's 2, is there another Lamb? I don't think there is.
No.
John Debba says he listened to Trashman and played one day. Well, you listen to both of us. Come on.
Well, I think maybe he was talking about the garbage grab.
Oh, maybe. Well, and I said on the SiriusXM show that I'm going to play Wan'Dale Robinson over Garrett Wilson. That was easy game. So Minion says, oh yeah, so he already said that about the injuries.
Because I remember, because when you said weeks, I said I don't remember reading about a particular amount of time being missed. But
what did I call the Rams? Did I not call them the LA Rams?
Oh, I don't know.
Did I call them St. Louis? I don't know. Sorry. Minion Hunter says he didn't want to get anyone confused. He's speculating about JK, but
I understand. I got it.
Okay. Bob Watson says Drake and ETN are available. Whoa. Drop Melvin Gordon. Yes, I would drop. I would
not
drop
Harris.
Would you drop Melvin for ETN? I'm not dropping either of these guys for Drake.
No. I just don't know what the hell's going on with Gordon right now. What the deal is?
No, I think that they hate him.
I'm not dropping Harris.
Yeah, but I want ETN. I want ETN. He's clearly ascending. So
I would drop. Well, it's so hard to tell.
Are those the only 2 that you can drop? Are those the only 2 guys you can drop? Bob Watson. I'm asking Bob Watson if those are the only 2 that he can drop. I'd like to pick up ETN without having to drop one of those guys. But I think I would. Dude, you don't like ETN rest of season better than Damian Harris?
Not Ramondre Harris was doing before.
Ramondre showed a lot.
He did, but they need both of those guys, and they've been using both of those guys. Gordon, he might be in the doghouse. I don't know what the hell's going on. There was no explanation.
Yeah, he looked like that whole situation looked terrible for him.
That offense is dysfunctional. I might have ETN over Gordon just out of principle right now, based on how terrible that offense is.
Dude, you know that ETN doesn't have he doesn't have dead legs. His coaches don't hate him for fumbling. You know what I mean? He's game script proof. Now you got Latavius in here. Mike Boone got the bad end of this thing too.
Right, yeah.
With Latavius. So I don't really know. But I would say you're fine to be thinking about dropping either. I say either. Trashman says not Damian Harris. I think it's a high upside, fine move to go after Travis Etienne if he was dropped. And here's the thing: if you're in a league where both those guys were dropped, you probably be able to go pick up. Yeah, you're gonna be able to go pick one of them up or some kind of somebody that's close to their replacement level pretty easily on the waiver wire if the whole Etienne thing goes bust. Hans Burglar says, "No, I'm a RosterWatch subscriber. We don't have back." Okay, that's good for you. Lifelong Longhorn says, "I scooped up Dalton Schultz from waivers as a contingency plan for Higbee."
How did that work out this past week? Damn,
not too good. Was he a healthy scratch? I'm not sure you can call it a healthy scratch because he was coming off the LCL, or it wasn't an MCL or an ACL. Was it a PCL?
I don't know.
Minion Hunter knows this stuff. He's some kind of doctor. No, he's a neuroscientist. That's probably but PCL was that posterior. I don't know.
I do like picking up Schultz for Dax.
They love Jake Ferguson in Dallas, though, it seems like, don't they?
Yeah, but I think
how much did Peyton
Hendershot Schultz is going to see a resurgence?
How much did Peyton Hendershot play?
I think they got the same amount of targets.
So Hendershot played 61% of snaps and got 5 targets. Ferguson played 51% of snaps and got 6 targets.
6 targets, okay.
And then Sean McKean played 13% of snaps and got just one single target for that one catch early on. So, I don't know. Okay, James Johnson cleared up his question here. We're going to need to get to waivers soon. My bad. He meant Waddle, Pittman, and Mike Williams for Jalen Hurts, Zeke, and Lamb.
I'm probably not doing that.
I mean, look, man, I'm keeping Jalen Hurts on my team right now, I think. Right? There's only so many of these guys. There's Josh Allen, there's Jalen Hurts, there's Lamar Jackson. After that, there's a slight teardrop.
What kind of receivers are you left with if you're getting rid of Waddle, Pittman, and Williams, though?
Yeah. I mean, he gets Lamb back. Well, no. He gets Waddle, Pittman, and Williams.
Oh, okay.
Does that make you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it because his quarterback is Jalen Hurts.
Well, I mean, does he have a backup quarterback, or would he have to go get one from the waiver wire?
Look, man, I don't drop Jalen Hurts right now. I wouldn't do it. Trashman says do it, but Trashman can get trashy sometimes. I like not having to worry about that spot at all. Let's see. I'm so screwed in fantasy this week says Elias, Kupp, and Josh Allen on bye. I'm stuck with Kirk, Samuel, Run. Nope, not going to answer a sit start question. Sorry, man. You must have missed the beginning, but we don't have sit start answers ready just yet. It's still early on a Tuesday. 16-team league, drop Nico Collins or Kyron Williams. I mean, I added Kyron Williams onto the waiver wire cheat sheet this week. I think now is about the time to do it. God, Darrell Henderson. It's just like they won't even give him all the work whenever Cam Akers isn't even there.
Yeah.
Who do they bring in? Was that Ronnie Rivers? Do you remember him from the combine? Like, was he even drafted? I'm just like, who was that that mixed in with him? Oh, and then Malcolm Brown. Wearing number 41, trying to do his best. The old Malley cat trying to do his best to Alvin Kamara. I mean, come on, dude.
Bring in Malcolm Brown.
Yeah. I think Lifelong Longhorn has the right idea about. Let's see what happens.
I'm dropping Nico Collins instead of Williams there.
Yep. I thought we made that clear. I mean, Kyron Williams should be picked up. He's on the waiver wire cheat sheet. Lifelong Longhorn said that he started Higbee. He's just waiting for Dak to get back. So, yeah. I mean, I think that's what Trashman was saying. Schultz, the Schultz Dak connection is one that I feel like is worth waiting on. Because you can't just throw away what we saw last year with those guys. So Trashman, any of these other running backs you want to hit on? We just talked a lot about Rachaad White, Latavius Murray, Mike Boone. Let me see. I guess I should have the sheet pulled up.
I mean, I guess if there's a chance that Jonathan Taylor doesn't play this week. I mean, Deion Jackson did a really good job.
Yeah, but he got hurt in the game.
Yeah.
So
Nyheim Hines I have above him. Caleb Huntley, Tyler Algier, they're both getting run there in Atlanta. I feel like you could flex either of them in a deeper league.
Yeah. And also, I would say, Joshua Kelly did get hurt last night. We don't know the extent of that thing yet. So before you go crazy about going and picking him up for any possible, Austin Eckler insurance or anything like that, let's kind of, I was hoping we might know the extent of that injury, but he's not exactly a big name player. So I don't think Schefter's going to be swooping in for some mid-afternoon, update, making sure that everybody's, completely up to speed on Joshua Kelly. I don't think he was hurt that bad because after he went into the tent, I didn't see this, but I was reading on Twitter trying to figure out what's going on, and people said they were there at the stadium said that he was riding on the bike and stuff. He didn't go back to the locker room, so right. They obviously didn't feel anything structural if that was the case. Hans Bergler says yes, it is a PCL. I guess who was it we were talking about? Oh, Schultz. The PCL for Schultz. Minion Hunter agrees with me. Do not drop Hurts, or do not. Well, certainly don't drop him. But I wouldn't. I don't even want to trade him. I feel like that the positional, the fact that the difference in level of play between the Josh Allens and the Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jacksons, etc., and the next guys down is pretty tough to overcome. So we have. All right, so Minion Hunter does know a little bit of anatomy. ACL is anterior cruciate ligament, MCL is medial collateral ligament, LCL is lateral collateral ligament, PCL posterior cruciate ligament. Thank you, Minion. Wide receiver trash, man. You had Wandale right at the very top, but I had the guy that Wandale always reminded me of in college, whose name happens to sound just like his. Rondale. Yeah, Rondale. Why not, Trash Man? We love Rondale. Why not?
Because DeAndre Hopkins is returning?
Yes, but Marquise Brown is gone.
Yeah, I know.
And he's going to keep the role in the slot.
No, I had Rondale Moore still on there. I just had Wan'Dale Robinson higher.
Yeah, don't you feel like the Arizona offense is going to be an offense that's a little bit better as far as putting guys in scoring position? I know that the Giants are 5-1, but can you believe they're 5-1?
No.
They're going to make the playoffs.
Maybe.
And your boy Daniel Jones is going to get like an extension.
East division is going to be tough. I mean, because the thing is, Eagles are going to make it in, and then the Cowboys already beat the Giants. I mean, I think the Cowboys could end up getting in over the Giants.
Yeah, we know one thing, that the Washington Commanders are probably not going to be getting in. Now, looks like Carson Wentz set to miss some time. What are your general thoughts on that? Like, do you think Taylor Heineke hurts them, or do you think it's just the same shitty quarterback?
I'm hoping it actually helps out McLaurin, because I remember them having connection, during Heineke's time last season. So I'm hoping that kind of gives McLaurin a little boost, because he's been terrible for me.
Other guys who are on the list here. It's probably time to pick up Tyquan Thornton, right? We saw that he
the upside.
We saw the speed that he was able to play with, and with what we're seeing also that like the Patriots are actually scoring pretty well right now.
I've said it already. I think Zappy's a better quarterback than Mac Jones.
That's just crazy, Trash Man.
It's
just crazy. He said, but hey, he's playing much, 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 much better than I thought he would. He doesn't look like Western Kentucky Zappy, no. but he certainly doesn't look like senior.
He reminds me of kind of like a young Tom Brady.
Come on, Trash Man. Let's turn off the stream. Just compared Bailey Zappi to Tom Brady.
Hey,
the best football player to ever.
Fast forward 5 years.
And he's on pace to be the best in history.
Right.
But and then what about Robbie Anderson? Now that he's going to go out there, do you think he's going to factor into 3?
Oh yeah, that's another reason why I didn't think Rondale Moore got that much juice.
He's not going to play in the slot.
No, but he's going to be getting targets.
Do you just not like Rondale out of the slot because Kyler's so short he can't see over the line in the middle of the field? Like, what is it you don't like about Rondale? We love Rondale.
I think Eno Benjamin kind of makes him redundant, and I think that Robbie Anderson is going to take targets. I mean, I think it's just going to be a wash. I don't see Rondale Moore getting a boost. I think it's going to be a wash with Anderson coming into the mix.
You can see the exact order that all these guys are listed on the cheat sheet the Trashman put together over at rosterwatch.com on the waiver wire cheat sheet. But quickly, other guys that are sort of in that same budget bid range that we talked about with the Rondales. Alec Pierce is still floating around. Trashman, you were saying that, you weren't necessarily, you took more away from the game that you thought Paris Campbell was back.
Paris Campbell got more targets, more yards, and a score.
I think he played more too.
Yeah.
I was looking at the snap counts. Let's see. In this last game, we had Indianapolis Colts. Just going to the snap counts, touches and targets tool here. Paris Campbell played 100% of snaps. Alec Pierce played 65% of snaps.
Yeah. So to me, that was – I think Byron was bearing the lead when he was talking up Pierce. I'm like, Paris had – I mean, I was noticing more of Paris that game.
Listen to Vince E, dude. Should I drop DJ Moore for Alec Pierce? I can't do that just yet. I gotta see what happens with the quarterback position. They're in Carolina. I thought at the start of that game, I thought Steve Wilkes sort of had that, and we always get this kind of dead cat balance with an interim coach, where the team sort of plays for him because they kind of play for him because they hated the head coaches leaving and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of thought that he brought him a little bit of juice. Kicked Robbie Anderson off the sidelines. I mean, they were keeping that thing close for a little while.
I don't think that Alec Pierce has the upside of a DJ Moore.
I wouldn't make that play just yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that just yet. Huntsbergler says DJ Moore has to pull a Robbie Anderson. Just get the hell out of Dodge. Well, he's gonna have to talk some shit on the sideline and get his ass sent back to the locker room to make that happen, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let's move on here to tight end, and I'm going to start. If you guys have any players who you need to know whether or not you can drop them, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm going to be looking through some of these questions that we've gotten on Roster Watch and some of the kind of guys I've been thinking about. And Trashman, go ahead and take over with tight ends. I see that. How about Greg Dulcich last night? He should have caught 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he should have caught 2.
Good. I mean, I feel like Russell. I mean, like with his litany of injuries that are affecting him right now, he's not able to get the ball down the field like he wants to. So maybe Greg Dulcich gets a bump. I don't know. Russell Wilson might not even play this week.
Oh, we didn't even mention that, right? So Russell Wilson, they're saying that he has a hamstring. They could be potentially serious. So we'll wait and see that. I wonder if it could be a situation where Nathaniel Hackett just gets fired after one season.
Could be.
It's just everything there looks so bad. They have new ownership. I wonder if there's like, man, this is not how we're going to get this thing started.
Yeah.
I can't do. They're paying Russell Wilson $250 million.
I mean, honestly, though, I think it's mostly injury related. He's been playing with this. What is it? Torn pectoral?
Yeah, well, and also the offensive line's in shambles.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you look, it's like he had no time to get the ball out last night. I mean, and they're running Latavius Murray into the ground. I don't know why they didn't put Boone back there. Use him as a safety valve for Russell. In the short passing game, it seems like an ineptitude. As far as tight ends go, Robert Tonyan, especially with Randall Cobb looking like he might miss some time, I feel like Robert Tonyan is a good streamer right now for Green Bay.
Dude, he got 10 targets last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy you could pick up and maybe have something on your hands there moving forward, dude.
As long as Randall Cobb is out. I think that was the big catalyst for Tonyan getting those targets.
Okay, well, but it's been a couple of weeks. I mean, he's been on an upward trajectory with or without Cobb. And here's the thing: it's not like any of those. Romeo Doubs isn't doing much to, he's been fine, but he's had some big drops, run some bad routes. I think they could be in a little bit of, I don't know, man. I think it could be in a little bit of a situation where they're gonna tell Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers, and sometimes Aaron Rodgers just wants to throw to his guys. Tonyan feels like he's one of his guys, so I think that Tonyan is the best pickup this week as far as tight ends. For stashes, it would certainly be the GOAT Dulcich, though, for me.
I mean, yeah, I see that too. Evan Ingram's on an uptick. So is Daniel Bellinger for the Giants. I mean, it's been a few weeks where he's gotten consistent targets. With so many other wide receivers hurt right now, I feel like they're getting some consistency out of Bellinger.
Quarterbacks, is it just you have Bailey Zappi? What about Fields? He's been kind of good.
Fields been all right. He's on there. Matt Ryan
Matt Ryan's going to turn back into a pumpkin. He just is.
I mean, but I think this week he could be a decent play against Tennessee.
Okay. Are you ready for the can you drop them section? Again, you can find all of the waiver recommendations, the bids that we recommend, etc. over at RosterWatch.com. If you're a pro member, you can come in and you can ask us questions anytime in any article that's up there on the ticker. All right, Trash Man, can you drop them? Isaiah McKenzie.
Yes.
He's going to get his job taken from him. He played a miserable game on, was that Sunday afternoon? That felt like a primetime game, didn't it? It's a big-time game.
I mean, it's a big-time game. I mean, I just think that with Khalil Shakir in the mix now, it's going to be a coin flip.
Oh, yeah. And Isaiah McKenzie played miserably. Just miserably. That guy's got hands like a couple of – do you remember on it was on Happy Gilmore, the old Chubbs. He got his wooden hand bitten off, his hand bitten off by an alligator. But then
he got the big wooden one.
Yeah, the wooden one. But something happened to where it got run over by a golf cart or something, and they had to put all the
tape it back together.
Yeah, it's like that. That's fucking Isaiah McKenzie's hands, dude. Him and Darnell fucking Mooney. I still can't get over that Darnell Mooney drop that they're in the end zone. Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yes.
Julio Jones.
Yes. I mean, if you haven't already dropped him in the past 2 weeks, then why not hold on to him?
What? If you haven't dropped him in the past 2 weeks, remedy that thing and drop him.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think he's going to work his way back soon, but yeah, you can
work his way back into what role?
I mean, as a third receiver.
Hey, what about Cam Otten? Speaking of that, for the tight ends, yeah, he's on the list, right? Yeah, Cam Brate almost broke his neck.
Right.
He's not getting back anytime soon.
He's on the waiver wire cheat sheet.
Cade Otten's low key Brady likes him.
Yeah,
he's kind of good. Brady already trusts him. Hunter Renfrow been out of sight, out of mind for a week. If you held him through the bye, are you still dropping him?
I mean, I could drop him for
Rondale
or Gallup. Michael Gallup still out there in a lot of leagues.
I might even drop him for just to take a flyer on Jameson Williams with as high flying as that Lions offense can be with how bad their defense is. Jameson Williams is too sick, dude. People should go get him. You should go get Jameson Williams. It's like kind of like we said, it's time for Kyron Williams. It's time for Jameson Williams. It's time to go ahead and go get him. Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore. He of Twitter chirping and squeaky wheel narrative coming into this week. After getting blanked.
I just don't trust
Zach Wilson. Elijah.
You can drop him. You can drop Corey Davis too in that offense. You could drop Garrett Wilson in the right situation.
I did. They like what they're doing right now, and what they're doing just is not getting any heavy volume to those guys. Yeah. It hurts. Speaking of that same team, we got two more here. What about young MC Michael Carter?
I'm not dropping him.
Okay. Finally, Trash Man, one of your sweetest, most precious golden sons in a precarious situation. I mean, precarious. No one knows what the hell's going on. Can you drop Cam Akers?
Yes.
No. You can drop Cam Akers? What if he goes?
Yes.
What if he gets traded? What if he gets traded to
He's going to suck somewhere else.